Hello there, welcome back to Oulu in Finland. It's qualifying day at the 112 Euros. And qualifying in the stock Euros was sewn up by lunchtime by a super dominant Marcus Mobers. You seem pretty happy, and with good reason, it would appear.
Yeah, car's pretty good right now. Well, actually the grip is low, but it's for everybody, you know. So, and I try to keep it on the track, so which is really important, not making any mistakes. So I'm pretty happy right now. Yeah.
Are you making lots of adjustments to try and cope with the track and how slippy it is?
Well, I changed so many things on the car, like the tire compound, the additive, side springs, whatever. It doesn't change.
But you seem to be very consistent still. You're on top in terms of stock.
Yeah, it's maybe my age, you know. It's maybe the experience. I don't know.
37's quite young for 12 scale, Marcus. Anyway, we've been adapting to change today, namely in the qualifying system. Yes, from this year, 12 scale is running in round by round qualifying rather than the traditional FTD. And depending on how you look at it, it seems a generally welcome change.
With round by round, it gives a better representation of the overall pace and the overall order.
In 2010, in Hinckley, it was FTD, so that allowed you to test more during qualifying and then put it all together for the last round of qualifying, which was likely to be the fastest round, which it was at Hinckley.
And what's happened in the past is if you haven't put a time in that round, then you've probably ended up qualifying lower than you might have.
I like it a lot, so you have to race all the qualifying, so it's good.
So I'd much rather have 3 consistent runs to count than have to do one banzai run.
Here you've got to be on it every round to make sure you get a decent result.
Well, in modified, early on it looked as though Alexander Hagberg might dominate, but in round 3, things took a turn for the worse.
Yeah, the car is working really well, except I had a small technical failure in the last heat, but I'm still confident for challenging for the TQ.
What are you focusing on strategy-wise for the next 3 rounds?
I'm going to try go as fast as possible without hitting too many boards. So.
That makes sense. Meanwhile, Marcus Mobers had a much more thoughtful approach to modified.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out things, you know, because on this track you really have to drive differently like usual because it's not smooth and there's no traction. Yeah. So you really have to punch the car, actually like the TC style, touring car style. In practice I was really struggling, you know, to get used to it. Yeah. But now it's getting better and better. I still miss a little bit of steering modified, which I'm trying to figure out to keep up maybe with Alex and Juho, but we will see.
Things also picked up for Juho. In day 1 of qualifying, you didn't look too happy. Things starting to look up today?
Yeah, the practice went pretty good, but then I had some problems yesterday, and today I figured some stuff out, and now it's starting to look better. Yeah. The last 2 rounds have been really good.
Yeah, that 4th round we've just watched now, what happened there?
Well, it was a pretty interesting run actually, because it started out good, then I made a small mistake and fell back a bit, and then other people crashed, and I thought I had a pretty comfortable lead, and I guess I started driving a bit too easy, which allowed then Simo to catch up in the end. His car in the end was really good, and I thought I messed up the last chicane, so I thought for sure he won it, but he messed it up even worse. So
towards the end of the 8 minutes, is it quite a tricky track to maintain concentration?
Oh yeah, for sure. Normally when I run touring car, the 5 minutes feels normal. The 8 minutes always feels like a marathon.
Propping up the ranks of the top drivers this afternoon was German driver Daniel Sieber.
This last qualifying round was very bad for me. The car did not work and the tires are not so good. Right. But now I changed to other tires. I hope it works. The problem is the surface from the track is very difficult, and very different to other tracks. It's feeling like sliding and push. the car at the Worlds, also sliding like the car here. And that's the reason, because you need special tires that you use.
Yes, track conditions continue to be the talk of the pits.
The time that Marcus Mobers did to TQ the third qualifier in stock was actually a lap slower than he went in time practice yesterday. So the track is just falling away all the time. I struggled a lot yesterday with the way the track evolved, and it's very greasy and slick, but I made a tyre change on my modified car for practice this morning. It seems to be a lot better.
Well, Mark continued to hold his own, and at the end of qualifying finishes 5th with Marcus Mobers in front of him. Hagberg qualifies in 3rd, Juho Levonen in 2nd, and reigning champion Simo Ahoniemi went from strength to strength this afternoon and will take pole in tomorrow's A final. Simo, that last heat was pretty phenomenal. You just seemed to come alive.
Yeah, well, for the last 2 rounds I made just a small change for the car, and it was really good on the track, so I'm very happy.
People have been saying all through qualifying that it's slippy and it's really difficult on the surface, the track. Have you mastered that now then with your new setup?
Well, I think the balance is the most important, that it's not oversteering or understeering. So.
How are you going to approach the finals?
Just the same way as the last 2 rounds.
You're going to have some people behind you though, aren't you? Do you think that this is a track that people can overtake on?
Yeah, of course. It's a difficult track, so if somebody make a mistake, it's possible to overtake. So
and you can tune in for the finals tomorrow here on EFRA.ws.